Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today on another video in my series on using essential oils for emotional, psychiatric, and mental health. Now, beyond their aromatic influence of essential oils on memory and mood, their secondary plant metabolites consist of hundreds of synergistic compounds that are able to interact with our cellular physiology and further address multiple factors that impact brain functioning. So in my series, I've provided details on how essential oils can soothe the mind and body simultaneously while supporting emotional well-being and taming the psyche. Now, if you've missed any of my previous videos, there will be links in the accompanying article on my website at Break Free Medicine to catch up on some of the previous topics that I've highlighted that is on the theme of using integrative methods to support psychological health and brain disorders, and also a summary of earlier subjects. So make sure you tune in for that if you're interested. Now, I've provided evidence on all these different essential oils that have been clinically validated, as well as experimental trials, which means they were either done in petri dishes or with rodents, that explore the mechanisms of why these essential oils are effective in human validated clinical trials. Now, last time I talked about sage essential oil, and I described how it has multiple properties that have the potential to prevent cognitive and neurological decline. And I want to go into a little more detail on some other essential oils that have also been studied for their potential to impact memory and learning, and also kind of bring home the point that their multiple actions based on their hundreds of synergistic compounds can produce more than one positive effect in the body at once. And this is very beneficial for our brain and our nervous system. Now, I've ran home the point about sage oil for memory and neuroprotection and how it has a mechanism to act on decreasing the breakdown of a neurotransmitter that promotes memory. I've done this in a couple of articles that you can catch on my YouTube channel. The links to those articles, or actually watch the videos. So there was an article review that provided further detail on sage and several other essential oils that I highlighted this week. And the authors gave detailed explanations of their mechanisms found in the experimental trials, and then again correlated these outcomes to human studies, which is what we really want to see. We just don't want to see some one action based on a petri dish or rodent study and then making these extrapolating claims that they're going to have an effect in humans that's, you know, the next miracle cure. We want to see that these effects are actually translating into humans. And we also know that everybody's different, right? So this is for the general population, and you always want to make sure, I guess it's disclaimer time, to check with your doctor and also make sure that you're an educated consumer on the safety and use of essential oils. And you might want to check out my series on how to choose an essential oil that's right for you specifically, because everybody's different with their biochemical individuality. Okay, enough said about that. Back to essential oils and brain health. So they've been studied for neuroprotective and anti-aging properties through these various different mechanisms. Now, the article that I highlighted goes into a basic overview of essential oils' history, their biochemical properties, and it also touches on the manufacturing and harvesting impacts of the compounds. And this is important because you want to make sure that you trust your manufacturer so that you're actually getting these active compounds that have been studied and validated in the research. You don't want to get a lavender off the shelf that isn't really lavender, doesn't have these active compounds to a certain extent. So this is important to keep in mind. We want to check the essential oils name, the genus, the species, and the chemotype, which is the predominant secondary metabolite that has the actions of the essential oil. So if you are confused with all that, basically just check the quality of your essential oil and make sure you trust your manufacturer. So the authors also summarize how modulating specific enzyme pathways in the brain support memory function. And this is back to the acetylcholine neurotransmitter in a little bit more detail, how it also can affect the acetylcholine in two different ways, by affecting acetylcholinesterase and butyrylcholinesterase, which inhibit the action of the breakdown and help these neurotransmitters stay in the brain a longer period of time. Then the article goes through several human studies that support the action of essential oils on cognitive function. So we've already discussed lavender, but there's been several trials. I'll just review them really quickly again. And there's some new trials here. There was a small trial that showed a combination of aromatherapy and massage decreased anxiety, which is important for brain health and neurological function, and improved some immunological markers in breast cancer. So we know that inflammation and immune function is important for brain health, right? We don't want an inflamed brain that can affect neurotransmitters, that can affect the blood-brain barrier, and just how the brain overall is functioning. There was an abstract on how lavender oil helped subjects with sustained attention over controls who didn't get the lavender. There was this study that they highlighted again with that Selexin, which is the lavender oil that's standardized in Europe in a pill form that's used to treat anxiety. And it was compared to lorazepam, which is a benzodiazepine, and it was found to be as effective as a drug with fewer side effects, which is a bonus. There was a small trial that compared jasmine oil massage with a placebo on mood and nervous system measurements. So besides the subjective ratings of mood, the authors also studied parameters such as blood pressure, pulse rate, blood oxygen saturation, breathing rate, and skin temperature. And this was to determine the mark of arousal in the nervous system. So rather than just saying somebody's calm or more stimulated, they wanted subjective measures as well. And they found evidence of a stimulating, activating effect of jasmine, and that it also uplifted the mood and could be used for the relief of depression. So we see that there's all these different ways that these essential oils can affect the nervous system. They can affect our memory. They can affect our cognition. And then the article continues on with more evidence that I've covered in previous videos, as well as articles and other sources, but this one's another source that shows the additional actions such as antioxidant, anti-amyloid, right, which is the protein buildup in the brain that's been associated with Alzheimer's disease, their effects on anxiety and mood, and their effects on anticonvulsion, which is anti-seizure. So they're definitely impacting these neurotransmitters, brain signaling pathways. And then there was a table that goes through all the different mechanisms of how these essentials acted in experimental trials and human trials. So it's a pretty cool review that I found. So what does this mean? That beyond memory and sage advice, right, with essential oil of sage, essential oils have the amazing potential to help keep the brain healthy in a lot of different ways. And the psychological impact, and it's well documented that aromatherapy is going to help with mood and calm the brain and body. But this is actual hardcore science with showing mechanistic ways that essential oils can support the brain. And they might have actually been, with all their role for memory enhancement, attention, and their different memory effects and mood effects, the most ancient neurotropic we have, which is what affects brain health. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will go through a few other oils that may have been missed in some of these reviews that are some of my favorites, such as rosemary, and a little bit more on maybe some unexpected essential oils for stress relief and brain health coming up in another video. And if you're not a subscriber to my eBlast Essential Oil newsletter, you might want to be, because I'm going to be giving exclusive articles over the summer, providing access to content that was only available to subscribers before. And you can go ahead and sign up, and it's free, and you get some e-tips from me every week. And then, as I said, this summer I might be slowing down on articles and videos, but you'll be still hearing from me and getting exclusive contents and check-ins on a weekly basis. So check that out so you don't go through Dr. Sarah withdrawal in the summer. Oh, the tragedy, right? And I thank you for joining me, and I will be back with you really soon. Take good care, and if you have any questions or comments, make sure you connect with me. Okay, have a great day.